Over the past week, my mind has returned to the pivotal role All Souls played during the Civil War in the creation of the National Sanitary Commission, which cared for the wounded on both sides of the conflict. After the war ended, the Sanitary Commission provided the basis for the organization that became the American Red Cross. The reason for the congregation's success was that everyone contributed. Bellows did his part as minister, but so did everyone else. Among other things, they raised nearly $6 million, 1860s dollars, to fund the effort. They showed what can happen when the power of an institution like All Souls engages the deep passion of our congregation in meeting the deep need of our world. During the more recent AIDS crisis, our congregation enabled our city and nation to make a great leap forward in recognizing that AIDS is a human disease and requires a humane response. What if we as a congregation today developed the resources to make a great leap forward in doing the work that is ours to do, both within our congregation and around it? When you look at All Souls today in the indicative mood, everything is more or less fine. I'm proud of what we've accomplished over the past 4 years, even in the face of the economic downturn. Today, our finances are better administered and our reporting is more transparent, and we're doing a better job of safeguarding our endowment. It's true that the funds we have available for operating expenses today are about 20% less than we had 4 years ago, partly because annual giving is down about 10% from its high in 2007, and partly because we've initiated a policy of not using capital reserves to pay for operating expenses. During this same period, we embarked on a planning process that described how we want to be different as a congregation over the next few years. We've begun acting on our aspirations by enhancing our hospitality and communications, bolstering our pastoral care efforts, and launching a small group ministry. In other words, we've been successfully doing more with less, and rightly so, given the economic circumstances. The time has come, however, when our ability to continue to do more requires more resources. It's time for the subjunctive mood. The question isn't what we have. The question is what we want. Do we want to make a great leap forward in ministry among us, in outreach to the needy in our neighborhood, in portraying a different way of being religious in our fractious nation, in making the world safer for women and girls? Do we want to make a great leap forward? If so, we'll need to increase our commitment and our capacity as a congregation. We'll need to serve more and give more. We'll need more volunteers to do the work and more staff to coordinate and focus our efforts. 4 years ago, our staff was a third smaller than the staff of a congregation our size should be. While we've reallocated some roles, our overall capacity as a staff has not increased. So here's a question in the subjunctive mood. What if all of us doubled our pledge to All Souls? I realize this may require sacrifice, but this is Christmas and I'm allowed to dream. Truth be told, some of us would find a 20% increase challenging, while others among us could give 5 or 10 times their current amount without undue hardship. Over the past week, my wife Holly and I have spent some time in the subjunctive mood, and we have decided to put our money where our dreams are. Holly and I are going to double our contribution to All Souls during this fiscal year, which ends in June. It won't be easy for us, but we believe in All Souls. We have a dream of the kind of difference this congregation can make in our lives and in our world. By doubling our contribution, we're hoping to be part of a great leap forward for All Souls. If at all possible, I urge you to join us. It's Christmas, and the subjunctive comes riding back proud upon the lacquered steps of hope. The season lights for us the path between the world that was and is, and the world that still might be. As we walk in the footsteps of if and whether, we tread once again desire's leaf-dappled path of possibility. What is your Christmas wish? For yourself? For those you love? For our congregation? For our nation? Imagine a great leap forward in your life. What do you want for Christmas? Amen. I love you. May God bless us all.